Well, welcome everybody to our 5-day $1,000 boot camp that was absolutely free with the hopes that this will help you create $1,000 in revenue any way that you like it. That can be a day, a week, or in a month, depending on where you are right now. This is meant to help you understand some simple marketing and strategy techniques that we have found as a company work for practitioners. I'm Dr. Tracy Straub. I'm a naturopathic doctor, but I'm also the Chief Health and Growth Officer right here at Get Healthy Store. I'm going to let the whole team introduce themselves that are going to be your hosts throughout the week. So this is live and interactive. There are some tools that you'll need. So I'm going to ask Courtney to drop the first tool in the chat, which is going to be your business health assessment. As I introduce myself, and then we'll move around the room. So I have been a practitioner for 25 years or so. I'm not going to give you the real number. I started super young, obviously. But I had to learn very quickly this e-com strategy market. I was a brick and mortar practitioner. I owned a personal training studio. Then I had a brick and mortar clinic. I got into education, working for a naturopathic school, built a lot of courses. That seemed to be my passion. And then I met John Armstrong, our founder and CEO of Get Healthy, when I was working at a brand, and that brand was onboarding into their catalog. And we just started talking back and forth about a lot of concepts and, decided that I should work here. So it actually worked out great. So I've been here 3.5 years. That first year, actually the first 3 to 6 months was like drinking from a fire hose. I think everybody assumed I knew e-com strategies, that I was good at online marketing, and I really wasn't. I knew health and I understood brands and I understood practitioners. So long story short, within about 6 to 9 months, I kind of had the concept down, and then I started to implement the concepts, marketing strategies, and techniques that are all built into our software. And within a year, I went from zero revenue online to about a consistent 20,000 a month. So it is possible. I don't say that to brag. I say that just to help you understand that I do work here at Get Healthy full time. And for the very minimal amount of effort that I put in to the strategies that we teach here, it does have a great return on investment. So we were trying to think as a company, like, how do we make this work for you guys? What are we missing? Why are not more people implementing the strategies that we're putting out there? And I really think you just need help walking through it the first time. The gift that I have is that I have Courtney and Kat and Candace and Andy all here with me, right? They're all here. And so I can ask them things. So we thought, why not do a boot camp? Let's just all get into the box, be like a happy little Brady Bunch, and put these strategies into practice. So that's kind of my background. I'm going to go to Kat Dara. She's our VP of marketing, and I'm going to let her introduce herself, and we're going to move around the room.
Hey everyone, I'm Kat. I'm the VP of Marketing here at Get Healthy. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I've worked in marketing for my entire career, so many years now. I've worked in the healthcare space for a while, and was happy to join Get Healthy just over 6 months ago. Really excited to do this boot camp with you guys. I think there's a lot of resources that maybe people don't realize that we have, or don't know how to implement in the best way. So really stoked to help you guys grow some sales.
All right, and I'll go next. I'm Courtney Bell, the marketing director here at Get Healthy. I have kind of been involved in wellness my whole life. My mom was a practitioner, so on a personal level, that's always been a part of my life. But on a professional level, I've also been involved on the marketing side, whether it's design or communications, that sort of thing for many years, and a part of Get Healthy for 5 years. So yeah, super excited to help you guys. Can't wait to see what happens over this next week. It'll be really fun.
I'll go next. I'm Candace Lunardini, one of the account managers here at Get Healthy. So I work with a lot of you from here. Born and raised in Pittsburgh, and that's where I am now. So if I'm talking to you, you'll know I'm in Pittsburgh, but I have been in the health industry since like the day after I graduated college. I got set up with a really awesome brand. Then I got to work with Tracy there as well. And then I moved over to Get Healthy about 3 years ago. So I've been in the industry professionally over 10 years. And when I worked at the brand, I was always trying to talk to practitioners about getting supplements into their practice. And, I would ask them, if you're working one-on-one with patients, that's when you're making money. Well, what happens when you're out of office or you're on vacation or you're sleeping? Are you making any money? So having supplements and things like that in the clinic was a good way. And now this just takes it to a whole nother extreme, being able to do this virtually. You could do it anytime, anywhere from your phone. So we're really going to talk through some of those things this week. And I just want to say thanks to everyone in here that I invited that is joined. And we're going to just kind of expand on this as we work together.
And I am Andy. I am the account manager for the West Coast. So all the cool mountainous states. If you're in a cool mountainous state, I'm your account manager. I've been in marketing for about 7 years. I've run marketing teams. I've worked in a lot of different industries, mostly in the health and wellness space. But everything from herbs to practitioners to dispensary style situations. So lots of experience in that world. I really like analytics and integrations and the digital marketing side of things. I also really like having people like Tracy and Kat and our team here who have a little bit more knowledge of practitioner and kind of bigger marketing picture concepts. So really looking forward to seeing what we talk about this week. And I highly encourage any of my accounts to email me questions, put them in the chat, schedule time with me. Anything you want to do to follow up on this boot camp is going to be super helpful, especially a call sometime next week is going to be really beneficial. So do not hesitate. If you need my calendar link, send me an email and we can get connected.
All right, that's our Get Healthy team. Well, some of them. I'm sure that if you have private label, you've met our operations team, and most of us have met our customer service team, Francis and Vanna. So everybody is here to help you, and I hope this, boot camp blesses you and really helps you find your way. So in the chat, Courtney has put the document. If you guys scroll back up to the beginning of the chat, you'll see that in the Google Drive. This is basically a health assessment document, and I put this together just to help you see where you might need a little bit of amplification in your efforts. I'm just going to pull it up on the screen real quick. So when we go through this, the reason that I did it is you're practitioners, in order for you to get people healthy, you have to know where they're starting from, right? You have to know what habits have brought them to dis-ease and what habits you need to change to bring them to health. The same thing goes with your business. And I know, guys, none of us signed up to be marketers or inventory managers or even front desk attendants, but, unfortunately, that's where we are. When you first start out, or even if you're a moderate to a bigger practitioner, you're always going to need help with something. So this assessment is meant for you to fill out either now as we go through this together, or even later. Just make notes on it. This is going to kind of be your litmus test of things you have to do. So we're going to go through the back end office of your Get Healthy store. Actually, we're going to go through mine. But through those analytics, you can open your browser window on the side and feel free to jump back and forth from Zoom to that as I go through some of this stuff. Because if you can fill these boxes in real time, you know where you are right now, how many orders that equates to, and what your revenue is, then you'll know what actions you're going to need to improve as we move along. Also in the form of lists such as, your number of patients, your top buyers. Maybe you've never looked at this stuff before, but we're going to look at it today. The business of your health and how healthy it is will tell you your sustainability. This is no different than how you look at a client or a patient. You can tell by how they measure up how well their longevity and rejuvenation potential is going to be. Same thing happens with your business. So I want you to look at your business like you would a patient or client. We're going to do a true assessment on the foundations of a healthy business, and then we're going to help you amplify those things. So if you can grab this document, print it out, download it, you can fill it out in real time if you want to. All right, so why did we do this boot camp? Well, for a few reasons. One, everybody needs a little bit of hand holding, right? We're not giving you a handout, we're giving you a hand up. We're going to teach you some marketing strategies, some simple analytics to look at. We're also going to teach you how to do those in real time right now. Second, Like I said, none of us signed up to be marketing or implementation strategists, but we have to be. There's a sea of information out there. And if you're on TikTok or you watch TikTok, not you guys, but there's a lot of people on there that are giving bad information. What it's going to do eventually is impact us. It's going to make things, I mean, I'm going to give you just a true story. My son comes down and he's like, I want to build testosterone. So I bought this product off TikTok. I mean, he's 15 years old. I was like, A, where'd you get the money? 2, who'd you buy it from? And what is it? So this is what's happening. And it's because people are better marketers. We can ride off the coattails of big distribution places like Amazon. They do it really well. And so what we've built you here at Get Healthy is this front end shopping experience that your patients are going to feel confident in, that gives them multiple product categories, but on the back end, you have a dispensary as well. So I hope you understand the value of our structure of what we've built, as well as the material we're going to get here today. All right, so let's start with some analytics overall. Hang on, I got to move this little black bar that's in my way. Okay, so this is actually the back of my store. As you know, there's the overview key, which I don't know how often you look at it. I know that, you know, a few of you said you love to make money while you sleep. So do I. But I also like to know that people are getting help, that people are reordering supplements. It does make me feel good. Now, this is the new month, so this is going to be down a little bit because it's not actually comparing to this particular bar. This is last year, and this is lifetime sales over a lifetime. Now, I've had my store about 2.5 years and have really worked at it. So the first thing that you want to assess is your overall understanding these metrics. Like, what are your total sales? So it is right now, November 4th, my total sales revenue, which is how much I've sold in retail, is $1,875.54. That amount of money came from 14 orders. Now you can look back at your analytics by going to your reporting tab if you want to see what you did last month, the month before. But right now we can just start current, because what we want to do is increase this by $1,000 a day, or by a week, or by a month. If you can do $1,000 a day, that's awesome. And if you can do that every day, that's going to be a substantial revenue jump. But what I want you to understand is this amount of money is equivalent to 14 orders. To get to this amount of money, I had to have 1,541 orders. So the reason I want you to know where you are is because you're going to set a goal so that you can sell $1,000 a day. So for me, that'd probably be about 10 orders. So I need to have 10 orders a day at the average order value of about $133. Okay, so maybe even a little bit less. Does that all make sense to everybody? I don't want to get into heavy core math, but just so you're aware. Now, what's the overall average across the industry? Of all the people that are selling online supplementation and wellness products, your average order value is about $122. Okay, so I'm a little bit above average. As you can see, 150, 140, 148. And this is the amount that people are buying at one time. So they're either buying less or a little bit more. And the thing about our technology is it allows you to have a shopping experience. Nobody goes to Amazon and puts one item in the cart. That doesn't happen. They put multiple items in the cart. They're going to buy their supplements. They're going to get their red light. They're going to get their carbon water filter. So that brings me to my next point. In order to increase this average order value, you need to increase your offering. So I want you guys to look at the front of your store as well and see what you're offering across multiple product categories. See if it's fitting the trend of what you're seeing on social media, what people are asking you for. Make sure that you have a good selection in each one of these categories so that people do have a shopping experience. I love that you have private label. I love that, you know, you have a very strategic way of practicing, but it is the shopping experience that's going to continue bringing people back to your store and shopping. So super important that you have that down. Okay, so current marketing efforts, and this is where I'm going to bring in Courtney and Kat after I pause for a second, because I want Andy and Candace just to give a little bit of insight on any of this overview or offerings. Andy, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean that it's just a really good place to track what's going on in your store. You obviously should have an idea of trends that are going on in your store, seasonality. If you've run campaigns that performed very well, this is a really good top level place to, you don't have to put in any extra effort, kind of land on this page. You can take a look, see what's going on. So that's a really good way to use this page. The other really great piece of information here is the average order value. And a lot of marketing e-commerce professionals will tell you that average order value is a really solid analytic. We want to try to get that order as high as we can. You can see in Tracy's store that is a very high average order. A lot of the stores I see on our technology and just in the industry space are right about $100, $110. Sometimes they go up much higher, but it can also give you an idea of what's going on in your store. Are you selling more packages? Are you selling more individual products? So that average order value can tell you a lot of information about what's going on. I think if anything, especially if you're new to the store, just being aware of this, taking a look at it when you do jump into your store. If something sticks out and you want to know about it, reach out to your account manager, take a look at what that analytic is. It's a good way to use that page.
And knowing these are important so you can plan for the future. If you're wanting to run a challenge or put together a bundle and you're wondering, is this too expensive? Should I do a smaller size bottle? Is this okay? This is going to be the statistics that will tell you what your patients are typically spending. If you want to increase that a little bit more, put together a bundle that's slightly higher. Don't jump too high. Don't start at $200, but in general, Tracy's average order is 150. This month slightly lower, but we're only 4 days in. So if she did a bundle that was 160,
Candace.
170, 180, she could get it up there. I think people would purchase something a little bit higher than 150. Just, looking at the number. So this can be helpful for planning as well.
So this really tells you about your customer spending habits, which is really important, as Andy and Candace were saying. You can also see who your best purchasing patients are, and you can also see what your best selling products are. This is really powerful. These are the products that have generated the most sales and revenue in my store. So why would I waste my time talking about anything else? If everyone's buying them, I should talk about these products. And you should say that the top 5 most purchased products that people are purchasing from me are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and say a little ditty about it on social media. So make sure that you check in here. You want to just this tab can give you so much information. We're going to run through some of the other tabs in a little bit, but I want to turn to marketing real quick. So one of the things that I tell people about marketing is that you have to have multiple touch points. And you have to say something that's going to align with your audience or attract your audience and be authentic. People can read a fake. Don't just market because something's popular. It has to kind of be what's unique to you and what you're passionate about. So I usually have a checklist of where I'm marketing, social media, emails, open rates, click-throughs. So if you grab your health assessment and take a look at it, when we talk about business health analysis, we're talking about your revenue, your number of orders, your current versus the goals that you have, and then the platform, the number of patients, buyers. I'm going to show you all that. And then we get into the social media platforms. So I'm going to turn to marketing and let them talk about that a little bit. And then we're going to step back into our patients tab.
Hey guys, okay, sorry, I had to close my window. There's garbage trucks outside. Always lovely timing sometimes. Like Tracy said, we're gonna jump into marketing tomorrow. Some things I would just love you guys to think about, so you can be ready for tomorrow. Just the channels that you use. So which social media channels are you using? Potentially have your handles up and ready to go. If you don't have the back end of Meta up, the business suite, it would be good to get that going. I can walk you through that a little bit too, but we can use that to schedule things. Also, just, you know, if you have your email platform open, obviously everyone's going to be using different ones. So we won't exactly go through building an email, but I'd love basically for you guys to be able to build out these campaigns as we do it, so that at the end of the week, you have something you can hit go on and actually like go live with. And then it would be a great idea if you don't have a Canva account set up, if you just set up a free account, because we do have editable graphics, and I'd love for you guys to be able to literally open Canva and check out what's happening as we do it, so you can really see. And then also, if you don't have a ChatGPT account, an OpenAI account, also free, I would suggest that, because we're going to go through some AI tools that I think would be really helpful to use, get you guys set up for success. Courtney, is there anything else you want to add in that we want them to have ready?
I think that's good for tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're just kind of reviewing goals today. Tracy will jump into some more
Right.
right now, but yeah, for tomorrow, we're really going to dive into doing a lot of, you can learn by doing, and that's kind of our goal tomorrow and Thursday in marketing. So yeah, for now, think about your channels, have that in mind, think about how you're going to communicate to your audience, I would say. Yep.
Oh,
I think you're on mute.
I
There you go.
sounded so good there, didn't I? You guys were so thankful I was muted. All right, so if you grab your health assessments, we're actually going to walk through some of your numbers. So if you can log into the back of your stores, there's no time like the present. Let's just get it done, because if I let you off this channel, you're not going to do it later. So if log into your store, I want you on your computer, if you can, log into your social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you spend most of your time, because we're going to go through that assessment as well. And then we're going to walk through your patient list. So I'm just going to share my screen and give you all my stats. It's probably the easiest thing to do, but be filling out your stats, not my stats. All right, so the very first thing that I always think about is how many people are actually in my store. And maybe you've never looked at this. So you want to go to patients in the back of your store and then all patients. And then it'll sign me out and I'm going to sign back in. Thanks, Jurgen. All right. So I have 913 records found. So that means I have 913 potential buyers inside my store. A few things about this, and maybe marketing can touch on this, and I know Andy does this a lot. Exporting this patient list, Courtney and Kat, if I imported it into my email software, what would be some good habits to do? Should I just blast all these people with an email, or what would be the process?
Yeah, I mean, I would say starting with, definitely don't want to blast them with a sale to start off. So if this is your first time kind of hopping into this, I would definitely recommend doing a like a nurturing campaign, maybe. And what that means is giving people valuable content that they can use right away. So whether that's a recipe or, maybe you're just introducing yourself out into the market. So definitely start with that. Introduce people to you if you haven't already. And then taking this list, they probably are already warm leads, right? Warm people that are shopping from you or you've sent this to. So you can send them information about certain products. But I would definitely, before you start saying, hey, we're offering 50% off, send them something that's a little bit more educational based. And that would be my one takeaway, just on a high level. Anything to add to that, Kat?
How many people here use an email software, and what do you use? Put it in the chat. So I'll put mine in while Kat gives you a little bit of insight.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it, Courtney, right? It just kind of depends where you're at with your email marketing. Obviously, if you want to blast everyone with newsletters, that's great. Some information. And like Courtney said, if you segment people that have certain things that you're treating, you can have more targeted emails for certain products that you want to sell them. And then, there's always something to be said as well about doing some list testing. So we'll get more into that in the next couple of days as well. But I think it's something to be good if you guys are able to look at your lists and see kind of, come to us tomorrow, and you can drop in the chat how often you're emailing or kind of how many people are on your list, those kind of things. We want to definitely make sure this is interactive so we can help you the best, and it'll be slightly different for everyone.
Yeah, so how many people are on your list? Take a guess. Also, do people know the difference? Give me a yes or no. Do you know the difference between a segmented list and tagging people in a list? I want to see where you guys are. Okay, no. See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. So maybe Kat, can you give a little explanation? What's the difference if you upload these people into the total list and tag them versus creating a segmented list from exporting the patient list?
I think and Courtney, speak to this as well. I think it's different on different platforms, which is, I think, kind of what we want to dig into. So now that you guys have sent me some lists of yours, I'm going to look into how that's different potentially on each of your lists, because with tagging and segmenting can be slightly different. So I'm looking at, you guys all have a bunch of different ones. So, we'll prep that for tomorrow for you guys so we can go over it with what's different. We use Klaviyo internally, but let me do a little recon to see how it's different for each of you guys. And that way I can give you a little bit more information tomorrow, and probably have a handout that could be helpful for all these different, just looking at all your different platforms.
All right. So the reason that we're trying to gather this data, and account managers, feel free to jump in on anything, is just to get to a level of understanding of where our audience is. So the reason I'm asking you to participate in the chat is it's giving our team market feedback. I always say practitioners, we're good doctors, but we're not great marketers, and we're not really exceptional business people because we just weren't trained in it. But if you train us, we can learn anything. So I want to get down to the root of the issue of why we're not implementing all the incredible content that marketing is putting out. And I just think it's because you really don't know how. And once we show you these simple techniques, it's almost like, the first time you learn something new about health, you won't be able to unsee it, and you'll be able to implement it with ease. So I use MailChimp. If I upload my 913 records, I usually clean my list, and then I tag those people as store. And so anytime I'm doing product emails, I use the tag for my store people, and I send only to the tagged people that have store next to their name. If I'm trying to get people into my courses, I put courses, I tag them that way. Some people have both. So they'll get product emails and course emails. And so that has kept my list a little bit cleaner, my open rates, a little bit higher, and my click-through rates are about 6 to 7%. And tomorrow you'll understand that's probably actually really good. I also don't email a ton. It's very rare. I'll put out my podcast once in a while, product email, but I don't oversaturate my audience. My communication platform tends to be social media. All right, so before we move to the next thing, I want to go through your list, give you a couple minutes. I want you to go back to your overview in your store. Just take a minute and write your numbers in. Now, obviously, this is the beginning of the month. Your numbers are going to be low. So you're going to look incredible here in a little bit as you begin to sell by implementing these strategies. So make sure you put, oh, I made a sale, guys. I made a sale right now. So now I have 15 sales. So make sure you put in your total, right? Which you could put in daily or weekly. So if you have this amount of revenue, divide it by your orders and just put in an average daily revenue. It doesn't have to be exact, or you can put in the actual revenue right now for the week, or you can wait till the end of the week. And then when you implement these, you can see what that's gone up to. Make sure you put how many orders that's for. So if you're going to put weekly 1,920 and 54 cents, then that's obviously 15 orders for me. So in order to get to that number, I had to sell 15 different orders. And then your average order value, mine's about 128. So I'm going to put that in my box too. Okay, now we're going to jump down we had the number of patients. If you didn't do that, go to your patients tab, all patients, and then you're going to fill in how many current people are in your store, because we're going to try to grow this list as we go. Okay, so 913 records found. Now I want you to either get on your phone and log into your Facebook. You want to look at how many friends you have and or followers. Okay, so I have 8,200 followers on Facebook. It's also important to note what type of account you have. I switched my account to what's called a public figure so that I can advertise on my account. This is my personal profile, but I also use it as my professional profile. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of why that's good or bad. I think you used to want to have a business profile and a personal profile. Now I just think it's all mishmash. But as long as you can advertise, as Kat and Courtney were saying, and make sure that you can use Meta, I think that's probably the most important as a professional personal profile. The other reason that I did public was because I didn't want everybody as a friend, because there are some things that I post that are just for the eyes of my friends. And then there's other things that I post that are for public. So I did a public profile so that allows me to have followers that don't have to be my friend, because you are limited to 5,000 people on Facebook as friends. So these are all decisions you can make if you want to switch your personal profile to a public. Those would be a few reasons to do it. Okay. So on Instagram, you can go to your profile here and write down how many followers you have as well. I have a professional account. I have 3,300 plus. Make sure you put that down. We're not going to get into all the analytics. I'll let marketing do that with you and why that's valuable. And if you guys want to do that in this session, we can. I'm just trying to get some real numbers. And the thing I'll say about Instagram, it wasn't always my platform. It's not always my thing. But a few things that I think are important is having some sort of tangible link in your bio where people can find out what you do. I personally use Linktree, and it's a pretty easy application that allows you to put a lot of different items in there. All right, and then if you're on TikTok, you can put down your number of followers there. I personally hate TikTok and I'm never on it. It's unfortunate because I have a lot of followers, but I just can't do it. I don't know why. I like Facebook. So one of the things that I'll say about your touch points is pick the one you love, right? Because I make more revenue, more class sales, and I gain more people for consults on Facebook than I ever did on TikTok. And I have less followers here. So marketing, Andy, Candace, do you want to say anything about social media platforms? Again, if you have Snapchat, you have LinkedIn, whatever that looks like.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Andy.
I was just gonna second Facebook. Facebook has so many great tools for a lot of the things that we're gonna discuss, marketing wise, business wise. Tracy's Facebook is a really great example to take a look at, to go in and kind of see a live experience of some of the things that we're going to talk about. And it's just one of those pieces, the more little touch points where people are seeing your brand, your name, your store link, the more traffic that you can generate, the more revenue, the more interest. So choose one of those platforms. It seems to be that everyone kind of has one, maybe two that work best for them. Focus on those platforms for yourself. Don't feel like you have to spread anywhere and everywhere, and it will over time generate interest and revenue and traffic for sure.
Yeah, and don't be shy. People follow you because they know you and they like you. They want to know what you're doing. We saw on Tracy's store, her top selling product was greens. She's always sharing when she's drinking her greens. Hey guys, I got my green juice today. Let people know what you're doing. If you use products, people probably want to know what you do. My biggest question that I get asked is, well, what do you take every day? Even when I was in clinic doing consultations, people would kind of cross their arms and sit back, like, they were just a little skeptical, but they would say, what do you take every day? And I would show them. I would walk in with my greens in my cup and just people want to know your lifestyle. You're in consultations with people that have, you know, issues that need help for that, but just living your day-to-day life, that can make a big impact. And not to mention using social media to run your challenges, have group support. I know marketing will talk a lot through some tactics and ways to run all of that, but it can be really, really powerful.
And then I'll just show you a few insights and let Kat talk about these and the value of them. And this is my Facebook insight, and sometimes I check these and sometimes I don't, right? So I had 20,000 post engagements. I'm going to tell you guys that I'm a hack at best. If I would probably do the strategies Kat and Courtney talk about more, which I'm learning myself to do, such as meta ads and whatnot, I can't tell you the last time I ran an ad. But what this will tell me is what my percentage of men and women are that follow my page. Now, who do you think I'm going to gear my marketing campaigns now, knowing this information? 83% of the people that follow me are women. So I might look at those things. You know, where are they from? You know, most of these people are local to me, right? So a lot of different things. But Kat, do you want to touch on anything that was been said, or do you want me to show anything on my screen?
No, I mean, I think, yeah, we'll go over a lot more of this tomorrow as the tools, but I think just overall, like what you guys were saying in terms of social media, make sure you're using a channel that you're going to use, right? Like Tracy says she hates TikTok, so don't try and do TikTok campaigns if it's not something you're going to follow through with, right? Like, I think there's something to be said about you got to like maybe push yourself a little bit more, especially when you're trying to sell things. It can feel awkward. It's, you know, a thing that you kind of have to get comfortable with, but definitely trying to lean into something that you either like or feel comfortable using. And we'll go over kind of those tools tomorrow. And then yes, to your point, Tracy, we'll look at some metrics as well when we pull those things up tomorrow. But you know, you learn a lot. Sometimes I also say, you know, failing is okay because you fail forward. Something you might think works doesn't, and vice versa. And so, you know, learning is always a thing. It's fine if something doesn't work you thought that might, and then you just A/B test things. So we'll go over a lot of that tomorrow. But I just think that's something to keep in mind, right? Like not everything's going to work perfectly. You might be surprised by some things, and it's just all a learning curve. And there's all those metrics, like Tracy was saying, that can really kind of point to the direction you should go.
So in the chat, I had asked the question, you know, what social media channel do you have the most followers in? And which is your favorite? So I have the most followers in TikTok, but my favorite is Facebook. Facebook lets me post a picture and tell a story or a video or go live. Instagram seems a little fickle to me. I don't know if it's the content I post, but I seem to get thrown in Facebook jail and Instagram jail. But Instagram then seems to dog my followers. All of a sudden, I'll be down 60 followers. And then the next day, I'm up 20. So I haven't really figured out Instagram yet. I'm not sure if people are actually leaving, because I have had people say, like, why'd you kick me off your Instagram? And I never took them off. And I think Instagram was taking them off. But so it looks like most of our people are on Facebook. Oh, you like Instagram, Liz? Okay. Anybody have groups that you run in Facebook or social media groups? Yeah, it's irritating. I agree, Jenna. Okay, we have group users. I love groups. You know, putting people into targeted content markets is really a unique and brilliant strategy, because you know those people want to be in there. If you have a group, how many charge for it? Yours is free. Okay, good, good.
Good questions.
Yes, this is good feedback for our marketing team, because they're trying to create the most valuable assets for you guys, how you're going to use them, why you use them. And if we don't even know how to export a list and import it correctly so that we have the most effective email campaign, all the graphics that we create for you, right, aren't going to help. So this is why we're doing this boot camp. Okay, good. Yes. Facebook is Instagram or standing times. Yeah. Okay. So moving into the last thing, is anybody have a LinkedIn account? And do you actually look at it? It's the professional channel, right? So Kat, what do you recommend, or Courtney, between Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn? What are your strategies there, just for people so they understand better?
For sure. So TikTok obviously is very video heavy. So if you are not comfortable being on camera or creating those assets, I would say hold on that for now. It is the place that you can go viral the easiest. It's the easiest place to gain followers. So there's a lot of great things about TikTok in that sense. It's just there's going to be a learning curve there. With Facebook and Instagram, because of the tools that they have now, that it's Meta, it's really easy to post across both channels. So I would say even if you don't love Instagram or love Facebook, vice versa, just post on both of them. Doesn't hurt because you can do it so easily. And then in terms of LinkedIn, I would post less on there, right? Like on social media of Instagram, Facebook, you could be posting every day if you wanted. I would do sparingly on LinkedIn to get more impact. And we can go through the different types of posts, but like somebody mentioned, it's not like a place that you would really sell things on as much. I think it's more of a thought leadership place, right? So if you're an expert in something, inviting people to webinars or to read your blog or kind of share industry insights or health insights, more that kind of thing than actually selling things. But a great place to connect with people. It's a lot harder just online in general to get organic growth. It's definitely, there's a lot of kind of pay to play aspects to social media now. And so we can talk about boosting posts as well. That can be a great way to get more outreach. But definitely I would say, we can go through all the kind of posting, scheduling things tomorrow as well. And Courtney, do you want to jump in with any insights as well?
The only insight I would say is that some of these channels are like generation specific. So there tends to
True.
be different generations that will visit different media channels. So that's something we can again kind of review tomorrow, which ones there are. But if you're targeting, a specific audience, and again talking about segmenting and all of that, but if you're targeting, say your millennial clients or something like that, they're going to go to Instagram. So that'll be something to keep in mind, and we can kind of dive a little bit deeper. But yeah, there's a lot of different uses for each one, and they can be very targeted to what you need, and that could be leading you to, if you're not taking that into consideration, it could be leading you into a stray. If you're using Facebook but your clients are using something else, then you might be missing that opportunity. So that's all I would add.
Yeah, Facebook's like the menopause channel, right? We're peri and menopausal there,
which is a huge market. So
that's right. Yeah, you don't see me a lot on Snapchat. I'm not like, Snap, so healthy, I don't do that. So that's my son. But again, she's absolutely right. So think about the people that you are targeting for your marketing campaign and what you're talking about, and make it relevant to the channel. And if you are good on video and you like to do that, which Kat is right, TikTok was easy. I got on there and within 3 months I had 50,000 followers, but it was completely overwhelming to me. And I mean, the amount of people that commented on so I'm one of those people that if I go on Facebook and people comment, I want to comment back or talk to them or answer their question. It was impossible on TikTok. So it just didn't jive with me. Not that that's right or wrong. If you love it, you can love it. All right. Last thing is your email marketing software. And this is for tomorrow. Make sure that you can log into your email. A few things that you can check on this health evaluation, right? How many contacts do you have? Just have this stuff filled out tomorrow so that Kat and Courtney can take you through a true walk of all of these touch points and how to use them most effectively. If you can't find your password on something, it's a problem. Courtney, can you put in the URL for Canva so that they can get an account if they don't have one? Make sure in your email, number of emails you send per week. If it's none, it's none. Mine is literally 1 email a week. And that's if I do a podcast, 1. Like I'm terrible, like the worst marketer. That's why I'm not teaching the marketing part. Your open rate. That's how many people opened and looked at your email versus your click-through rate, which is if you're like, hey, go listen to my podcast, and they click on that link, that's a click-through, right? And then how many people are unsubscribing? So if you have 15, 20 people unsubscribing from your email each time you send out an email, That's not great either. So you either have a list, as Courtney was saying, that's a cold list, that you're sending content to these people that they don't want, or the content that you're sending out isn't all that great. And that's where Kat and Courtney are going to come in with these AI tools that are going to help you generate good content. And I know we're talking to healthcare practitioners, so AI is not always the best topic, but here's what I will say. I was a little AI hesitant as well. I have mastered Descript. I love Descript. And Descript is a great AI tool where you can put like an entire webinar in there, a video, and you can transcribe it out into text, and then you can block that text and it'll literally cut that segment of video out. Has anyone ever see all the Barbara O'Neill videos that you're seeing out there, right? Barbara's on every channel. Well, little news flash for you, that's not her. That's people descripting out her video and selling a product to consumers. It's not even Barbara. She makes no money from it. She's actually not even on social media at all. But that's the power of marketing. And so that could literally take you 10 minutes to learn an AI tool that could generate $1,000 in revenue a day. So just be thinking about that. That's how I really grew my Facebook page. I took 2 weeks and I descripted out all of my old webinar content. I just went through and I was like, this one, this one, this one. And I had 836,000 reaches from doing that for 2 weeks. And it increased my followers from like 5,000 to 8,200 now. So if I could continue to do that, right? And it just takes time. So I may not do it every week, but I'll do it in blocks of time when I have it. So don't think also, guys, that this has to be so overwhelming that you have to have like this whole marketing thing. You can do this in bite size and segments. And that's what we're here for. You know, just you're going to find the tool that you love out of this 5-day boot camp. And what I would suggest is master it and drive it. And if you do that, you'll make revenue, get new followers, gain appointments, sell your courses, whatever your call to action is, which is really important to have if you want somebody to do something. So, walking out of here, your CTA, what I want you to do is make sure you sign up for that Canva account. Make sure you fill out your health assessment, print it out, go through all the things, mark in all the numbers. Make sure you can log into your social media platforms, that you can log into your email so that tomorrow marketing can walk you through a lot of the analytics. So we have about 10 minutes left. I'm just going to let anyone who has any questions, please speak up, ask, or if anyone has any closing remarks, Andy, you're in.
I also just wanted to say before we hop off, make use of Candace and I as your account manager. I really like marketing and e-commerce and stuff. I enjoy having these conversations. So a few of you I meet with somewhat regularly, but schedule time with us. We'd love to get in and sit down and talk about how to execute this, because all of this sounds great now. I think Tracy kept it very simple and understandable, but we're still going to go back and look at this tomorrow and be like, what did we learn yesterday? Like, I'm totally lost. How do I do this? So Candace and I are super willing to help make that happen. So I highly recommend it. So that's all I want to say, just to drill it into everyone.
Andy, you're very good too. So please, do lean on them. And then you guys, just so you know, we are building you out like a guide, a Google kind of guide that will go over everything that we talked about today, segmenting and tagging, how to build a campaign in an email, some tips and tricks, the metrics to look over, kind of what you need to see, how to measure them, all those kind of things. So we'll make sure that you guys literally have, something you can take with you that if, like Andy said, it sounds all good now, but then you walk away and you're like, wait, what was that again? So we'll have that for you for email and social. We'll go over it tomorrow and kind of dive into it, but then you guys can take that way. You just have that as a handy guide to use in the future as well.
Are there any questions from the attendees? Just unmute and speak up. Nothing. All right. Well, we didn't want to go too high level. I hope it's not too low level. If it is, please just tell us tomorrow. We can always add other things, but to be perfectly honest, you don't have to be master marketers to make a lot of revenue. I always joke around that I'm a hack at best. I don't do a lot of things consistently. I do them in spurts. But that works for me. And so you got to find what works for you. It's just like your clients. What can you do? What will you do? And what can you afford to do? You know, for us, it's what kind of time do you have? I don't have a lot of time. So everything that I do has to take 10 minutes or less. If it takes more than 10 minutes, I won't do it. So good. Dr. Hilda, did you have a question?
How did you know I have a question?
I'm just tuned in. No, I saw you on mute.
Oh, you saw me. I mean, yeah, it may not be for today, but you mentioned that you switch your personal page on Facebook to the public figure one. So, and you have your Meta account. So is your Meta account, and that's a personal page. So is your Meta account attached to your personal page, which is that public figure page? And
Yes.
when you have been put on jail, does it affect your Meta account if you're running ads?
No, because it's funny. Once I started to do a few ads here and there, they stopped putting me in jail. You know, because now they're making money. I get it. Like they're a business too. So if you throw them a bone once in a while, they let you stay out of jail. Because everybody's always like, how do you not end up in Facebook jail all the time? Because actually I was in it a lot 2 years ago, you know. And you know, I'm smart about my content now. So when you write something, if I'm talking about, let's say, vaccines, I don't spell the word. I use a @ symbol for the A. I use an X for the C's. Like sometimes you have to get around the bots. So, but they haven't thrown me in jail in a long time. So don't jinx me.
No, not at all. I mean, I haven't done any advertising for years, but I had somebody that told me to not have my advertising account attached to my personal profile.
And that's okay. I mean,
Good.
each their own. I just don't want to run 2 profiles.
I know, it's such a pain.
It's a pain. So that's the thing. Like people that say that have more time than us. Yeah. So and Kat's idea of connecting your Instagram to your Facebook is awesome because it can go back and forth. Sometimes I'm on Instagram and I'm typing something up, and other times I'm on Facebook doing it, and it just goes back and forth. So saves me a lot of time. Meta's attached to both of them. That way, if I'm boosting on one, I can boost on the other. You know, so yeah, you
And
can.
I'll show you guys tomorrow. We'll screen share and we'll go into the back end of the business suite. And so we can show you how to just actually build your campaign directly there. So you don't have to like do it on your phone. You can actually just have it set up, save it, post it later. So those kind of things help save time as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I love what you said about if it takes more than 10 minutes, then don't just do things that take 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That is like, to me, that was like, I know there was a lot that was shared today that was amazing, but that was the most amazing thing for me. Okay, I can handle that.
You can handle that. That's right. And don't make your posts too long. You're not trying to give all your information. Make them intriguing. Make people ask questions. Engage with your audience. You know, little tidbits, little nuggets of knowledge out there that position you as an expert, that get people interested in you, but you're not giving them everything, right? It's just like these 5-day boot camps. You know, we're going to give you a lot of information, but it's not everything. We're going to give you tools at the end of it. If you want everything, we have people that can implement everything for you. But if you just learn a few strategies from this, like your favorite social media platform, how to look at your numbers and impact of what you're doing on social media, and maybe learning to email once in a while to a clean list that's actually going to open, your revenue is going to go up by $1,000, even if you don't try. It just will, because people are going to engage with you. They want to buy from you guys. They really do. But sometimes they're just confused on what you want them to do. So be clear in your communication. Ask, tell them, right? Direct them, and they'll do it.
For sure. And just on the 10-minute point, I think that we can really set you guys up with that. So we'll go over that tomorrow when we go through our Canva editable templates. It's actually, you could be not good at art at all, not good at graphic design. It's not my strong suit, but like we have it set up where you can change things really easily. And then we'll go through making AI work for you with what you want to post on. You can batch posts. We'll show you how to use that. So we should be able to get you a bunch of things you can do in less than 10 minutes. And you know, 10 minutes is better than no minutes, right? So you start doing that consistently a couple times a week, that ends up being an hour a day that you're putting towards these things, right? And so that does make a difference. And there's so many tools out there now to make it so much easier.
Yep, awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Remember, take a day, take an hour, take some time to work on your business as much as you work in your business. Okay? All right, we'll see you tomorrow,
Thanks
same
for your
time.
time, everyone.
Thanks,
Lots of
everyone.
marketing tomorrow, so be ready. Have
See you guys.
a good day, everyone.